Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Heist League 3.12. In this episode, I'm going to be going over we had the league starter with no items, and then we had the actual getting the early items that you would want, high priority. Now I wanted to put together a more full, complete, what I recommend as the well-balanced version. That's the way I like to describe this version. Okay, this is the you've got to put you put everything together. It's the well-rounded. It's you're gonna get exactly what you've put into it, and your expectations should be similar. So some of the key things about this build is that it's doing 2.4 million damage per Carrion Golem, and you have 4 of them, and it has pretty good physical damage reduction, and it's off of Chaos Golems, and then it has the 1100 regen, and that's off of the Stone Golem. So all of this is really cool, and it comes out to be this really well-balanced, well-rounded build. When you look at it later, it's 21,000 effective HP for the Elemental, and then the 21,000 for Chaos, because this is just res cap and Chaos res cap. This is what it does. It quadruples your life. Isn't that insane? And then for most people, if they have no armor and no physical damage reduction, then the thing they're dying to is physical. And if they have no Chaos melts them. You see how all of this makes sense? If you have 5,000 life, if you have 75, boom, 20,000, easy clap. So on the physical part, normally people will avoid armor and avoid physical damage reduction, and then they get hit for they get one shot, and they're like, what happened? So there's that. To help against fireballs, just because people will mention it while I'm looking at this spot right now, you could raise your elementals or raise your HP, or raise the dodge or block or any of the other things to mitigate. But if it's a one shot, you need a bigger buffer or have more mitigation like Faith Tool, Fortify. Anyways, let's get into the build. So, how you guys doing? This is the Carrion Golems. What we put together. Got to show a lot of stuff today. So you have to understand this. Well, you could probably understand this just because you've been following Carrion Golems for so long now, and everyone's doing them. If you've looked at my league starter and my early items build, basically what we did is we took out the skill tree damage of Righteous Army Redemption. We leveled up to 100 in the skill tree. We put cluster jewels in to show what these could be and what they can do. So obviously 3 points, and then you spend another 7, I think, and you get 2 jewel sockets and 2 notables, because 3 notables is going to cost too much. So it's likely to be able to get 2. The main priority is Rotting Claws. And the point of the 2 large clusters is because 2 Rotting Claws to gain 100% Impale, because without them, we can show this on the Carrion Golems, 100% Impale, but if you didn't have the 2 Rotting Claws, then you only have 70, so they give 20 per, and that gets you the 100% Impale, and it's pretty worth it, especially on bossing. You'll notice it does a lot more damage because the Impale is 1.1, and you want this to be consistent because it only does a lot of damage when you have 5 stacks. True. So some other key things. So that's the large cluster. So I recommend an 8 passive, 2 jewel socket, minion damage. This can be item level 50 for the renewal Rotting Claws. I recommend Rotting Claws, and then secondary renewal. I wouldn't go for this if I couldn't get Rotting Claws renewal. This is the minimum. I showed you the build before this, early items. It does not have cluster jewels, and it's very good. So it shows that you do not need this. You do not need large clusters. So only go for the large cluster once you can get the good ones. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. We have a lot of really good stuff on the skill tree, including life and the Righteous Army Redemption that I gave up for really good large clusters. I want to make that clear first, so that's a good starting spot. And then what did we do to the build? So this is including Anima Stone, Primordial Might, and some Harmonies, and some Eminence. So we basically filled out my skill tree that I made with the extra jewels and what I would put if I could, right? This is filling out the build. This is the point. It's what you would do with your best case scenario and making a full complete build where you would want to take it. Kind of like this is giving you a nice, well-balanced early build you can work towards, and I think it won't be too contested for individual items, maybe specifically cold iron points, forbidden taste, these jewels, of course, we already know that, the large clusters, which I said we can avoid, and this chestplate is just to simulate 2,400 armor chestplate. You don't have to run this, but it's a really cool chestplate because, so what happens is early people drop this chestplate as a shitty there's a normal version that only has like 20 armor, and what happens is you can drop it 6-linked and they can use a prophecy to get this to the wall of brambles. So you can use, you can go get the prophecy, and you can do this for cheap early on in the league, and not many people do it. Even when I tell them every single league about it, they still don't do it. So it's probably going to be cheap again. I wouldn't doubt it. So you can get an early wall of bramble 6-link. Otherwise, obviously, any armor, body armor with life, armor, 6-link chestplate is going to be fine. Remember you're going to need the colors of 2 blue, 1 green, 3 red. So keep that in mind when you're searching for it, because we're going to be putting the skills in the chestplate. So I like to give people the full complete build so that they can see all the gems and what they're going to be doing. I also gave them some priorities, like specifically I showed Carrion Golem, no alternate quality, focused on 21-0. Instead of letting people wonder which one's better, I'm just showing you this is better than 2020. So when you watch the video and you listen to me, 21-0 is better than 2020. Awaken Melee Fizz is like the best Awaken gem we can get first, or like the Awaken Generosity. They're really powerful. Awaken Generosity because more Impale is really strong. It's really, really insane how strong more Impale is. But because it gives an extra level to the gems too when you give 20 quality to Awaken Generosity. But anyways, the Awaken Melee Fizz gives 10% chance to intimidate enemies for 4 seconds on hit, which is pretty massive. So I recommended that in here as like the first awakened. Obviously everyone will know that you can awaken brutality, awaken multi, but this is like showing people the full complete what they could do in the beginning, an actual build option where they didn't have to spend $1 billion. And look at how this shows like progression, right? You see actual build. People could just copy this and then boom, magic. I did it. Easy game. So it's really cool, and they can go more life. Actually, I just want to show this. The helmet has no life. The chest plate has 20 life. The glove has 70. The boot has 66. The ami has none. The ring has 58. The belt has 67. The jewel is ridiculous. That's not... Yeah, you wouldn't roll this jewel. Okay, let's not... The life is kind of greedy, but it's to show that you should look for life and look for chaos, but the taunt is the main priority. Taunt is what people want. Taunt was made clearly the focus in the first video, and now we're building upon it. We're adding layers and adding more things you could be looking for. So I actually showed where you can look for reses and what reses you would want to, what you kind of need, and maybe not this high on each item, but it's giving you like that you need to kind of look for chaos on each item. It's getting you in the mindset. And then I made the build where the ami doesn't have any reses or life, and the helmet doesn't have any like reses or life except for this 10 chaos. And so I think I've kept it pretty simple to where it shouldn't be that hard to res cap at mapping. And when you're this rich in the build, like this early on with all the jewels and shit, I think the reses is gonna come before any of this. And I think you're going to be able to res cap. It's not going to be a problem with trade and crafting. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so I've mentioned my skill tree, why I removed the minion damage, why I put in the clusters, trying to see what they're like. I mentioned the chest plate and how you have multiple options for the chest plate. You can go an astral plate or whatever 6-linked. It might cost more. I'm telling you that this 6-link thing with the prophecy is hilarious, and it might be cheaper, and then it gives 2,000 armor, and you're not going to find a single chest plate cheaper with 2,000 armor. But then you take it one step further, and you can use a brass dome. Now, I don't know how cheap this is going to be. Let's say it's not cheap, right? You got it, but you got it. You went and you got the brass dome. Let's assume you're not poor. You got it. Who cares? If you have the brass dome, you take these 3 points out and you have 3 more points. So you can take 3 more life points. You gain life while using a brass dome because you gained 100% crit immune. So therefore, it didn't matter about the crit reduction from this, and so I didn't take it anymore. That's just a small thought. I'm not going to leave that in the POB, so this is people who watch the video get a bonus, like, little treat. There you go, guys. Bonus tips for people who actually watch the content. The AMI, this is neat because I showed that you can allocate Ravenous Horde, because the entire time in our build, this whole time when we're doing all of our pathing and everything, we never path to Ravenous Horde one time. And it's because, well, if you path to it, then you have to unallocate it, and it's actually really long pathing just to get it, and I only like the one single node, so honestly, I'm just going to keep anointing it and never path to it. Yeah, so then we'll anoint that, and this AMI is showing how you can go a Warlord Hunter amulet using the Awakener Orb, and I have a video on how to craft the amulet, on how to Awakener Orb, Intelligence, Physical, Skill Gems, amulets. You look for a Citron amulet with the Strength, Dexterity, because it's just some of the nice attributes that we like to use, and when you Awakener Orb this, you'll get random mods, and these are 2 prefixes, so most of the time you're going to hit another prefix that fills up your mods, and you won't be able to craft a life prefix. You won't have life, and so the bigger expectation is to have 2 suffixes, maybe 1 suffix, and you'll have open 1 suffix, so you can craft something like Dexterity or maybe a Resistance. I just did Dexterity to show that you didn't have to select the extra Dexterity nodes in the skill tree, which you could also do to cap the Dexterity. You only need like 89 in the build. It's not a lot. But just showing you how we have a lot of room and lots of variables and our different options in it. Yeah. So in the original starter build, the early items build, I started with an Intelligence Skill Gems AMI, and this is showing you how you could take that original AMI that you have, and you can Awaken or Orbit with a Physical Skill Gems AMI to get this +2 level, and it's absolutely insane. It's adding 552,000 DPS. And then you could obviously, if you get lucky, open prefix, craft life. Oh, amazing. But also just crafting resin shit early. Like, it's such a powerful upgrade. So Awaken Orb, AMI, easy clap. And then it's just like life reses Unset Rings. And life reses Sejin, because I figure whatever. And eventually you could replace this with a Headhunter. That's the eventual goal, is to res cap without the belt, because you want to run a Headhunter, and you want to run Brass Dome, and you want the Taunt Jewel, and you could also, instead of Chaos Res for the minions, you could run Blind. Minions have chance to blind. So even though you are unable to evade attacks and use the actual blind because you're Unwavering Stance, you can still gain the benefit of your minions' survivability off of the enemy being more blind, because the enemy will still miss your minions more. So that's neat. I thought of that. So that's something, right? So also, because we showed how to chaos res cap with bonus extra chaos res, and this is only the little bit of chaos on the actual I just realized I have an extra skill point. How'd that happen? That's pretty nice. Dude, we're thick. Okay, so then I only took 2 chaos. You see? That's what I was going to point out. Okay. We could take that out completely and take out the pathing, because we didn't even path to Righteous Army and Redemption. You save 3 points, 4 points. It's not bad, right? There's so many things you could do. with when you start to get items, and you can start to min-max your skill tree for exactly what you want when you do more clusters and shit. You get in the mediums, minion survivability, because people will ask next. So I went for the +3 socketed minion gems. In the original early items video, I went for socketed gems are supported by level 20 minion life, or 16 actually, just to show like the basic. You could use minion 16 and it's pretty good. Then for the ultimate helmet, you want the +3 minion life 20, and obviously you could have the open prefix for life. You can get reses and some attributes. Pretty good. It's what I recommend. And I went for cold iron points to keep it simple here in the weapons. But something hilarious is constantly I will have people who want to survive fireballs and don't have all the other stuff. Maybe not the Animate Guardian with the Fortify Kingmaker, right? Or the Theft tool for the damage reduction, or they're not standing still, but then they stand still for a fireball to tank it, and then they can't tank it, and they don't know why. So then I go, well, you could change 1 cold iron point to this Sappho's frame, and you gain 20% spell block, and you gain max reses, so you can get 79 chaos, 79 cold and lightning, and 80 fire. And then when you look down here, you can see that your effective HP went from 21 to 27 and 26 and 30,000 for the armor physical damage reduction. So it's pretty insane. Obviously you're like, wow, that's a lot tankier, but you gave up, I think it's like 700,000 damage or 1 million damage or something. 700,000. So it's just to show that you do have options of going less damage. You don't have to go 2.4 million DPS. This is just because damage is usually some of the hardest for some people to know about. I just show everyone the options, and I also show them the survivability options and what more expensive things are out there to get tankier that we will be getting eventually for the full complete, like how it becomes this well-rounded build. Because when you're missing some of the stuff, if you're not res cap, for example, and you go into something chaos and it one-shots you, well, if you go into something and you don't have armor, well, if you don't have the chaos golem yet because you're still working towards the like anima stones, or maybe even the double clay shaper to go the chaos and the stone early. The idea I came up with in the early items video. But yeah, something I wanted to go over is the skills. So I mentioned the Carrion Golems, how I focused on the 21-0 for the Carrion Golem. Obviously 21-20 is also good and better, and 21-23 is even better than that. You can go Awaken Melee Fizz, Awaken Brutality, Awaken Multi-Strike, Awaken Minion Damage, of course. But this is just showing you the priority. Awaken Melee Fizz is usually cheap. I might have just made it expensive, and I told you the reason why we use it. Awaken Minion Damage is usually cheap. Awaken Brutality is usually cheap. Awaken Multi is really expensive. We can go without it. It's fine. We're not playing zombies. So Raise Spectres, it's the 2 Carnage Chieftains, 1 Host Chieftain, and 1 Theft tool. And the way we do this to get 4 is we have a level 25 Spectre because of the helmet. The helmet gives +3, and we have the amulet that gives +1 to intelligence skill gems, so this gets +4, so it's a 25, so it has +3, and we use Death Attunement to get 25 to get the 4th Spectre. Death Attunement. So we get 4, and I use 2 Carnage Chieftains, 1 Host Chieftain, and 1 Theft tool. 2 Carnage Chieftains and 1 Host Chieftain from Ashen Fields Act 7, and then you can get the Theft tool from Tool Breachstone. Blood Magic for the Spectres to use their life instead of mana because they don't have mana regen. Raise Zombie for the extra minions so that my Carrion Golems do more damage, and we can hopefully keep them alive. Elemental Army to raise up the elemental res of my minions because I didn't want to take Indomitable Army because you save some points, and it's funny to res cap because you're when you use golems, they're elemental immune completely. They can't take elemental damage. So then when you use non-golem minions, they can. And so these can die, and then the golems can't. And that's the reality of the situation. And so the golems can only die to physical and chaos damage. So that's why when we use those medium cluster jewels with Dread March, our golems become completely unkillable, and you can take them deep delving, and it's really fun. Yeah, so if you have problems with their survivability, just know that you've raised the res of your specters to, and this is obviously when they're all leveled up and stuff. Let me show you on the zombies. So they're 80. But your chaos with my build is only 31 with the ghastly jewel, and so you wouldn't probably have the ghastly jewel either, so they only have 20 chaos, so they can die to chaos. Okay, and then also their physical, this is with a lot of life, but they have 26,000 and their effective hit against this is only 40,000. Their chaos is 46. So you can see that their physical damage reduction is terrible. And so if you had medium clusters with Dread March in the build, it would make a significant difference for the minion survivability. So if you were able to get more life on your gear and have more life in total, to where you could give up some on the skill tree potentially, like maybe the full constitution or this 3 points for Hardened Soul, or a bunch of options, maybe the 3 points for the Sanctum of Thought if you can get the Brass Dome like I said, then you can put points into a medium clusters with Dread March Renewal, and then these will survive more as well, along with also your golems, your main golems. Because you can see that their elemental is really good. It's just that also their life, 26,000 versus my Carrion Golems with 48. And there's another big difference. My golems have aggressive because they are golems and they're primordial might. So they're going to be life leeching and attacking way more than the zombies. So the zombies just stand there and get hit and be stupid, and they don't try to leech as much. Yeah, they're just not as good, and they don't do as much damage because I didn't buff them up. They have 70% Impale, 13,000 DPS. 13,000, dude. Holy, that's a lot. Think I've covered a lot. There's still some more. So I've gone over the Stygian Vice. I did the Ghastly Jewels. I did the Unsets. I did the boots. I did 20 move speed just to show that it doesn't really matter, and that is mostly you could get some reses in life. And I showed the chest plate, how simple it was, and the helmet is kind of crazy. But the minion life 20 is cool, and the +3 is so you can get the 25 Spectre Gem, and you can do this with bound fossils after. It's not that bad actually. It's like only 85 bound fossils to hit +3, 20 minion life, and that's 85 bound fossils for the best rolls. So you could get +3 with minion life 16, and that's fine. And so I think the weighting on that isn't as bad as 85 rolls. So I'm saying that 85 is the worst case scenario to try to get exactly +3 20 minion life. Yeah. Okay, now the flash. I did Forbidden Taste. Because we res capped the chaos, I thought that the Forbidden Taste would only do 2% of my max life as chaos damage per second. So this is 1,000 total for 4.8, or no, 100 degen. Yeah, it's like some small amount of damage to 100 damage. Yeah, it's nothing. 100 damage per second, and I'm healing 1,100, and this heals me for 5,000 instantly. If you get it on an 100% roll, it'll heal you for all of your health on a click twice. And the main reason I actually am using this, there's so many things to talk about in the build, guys. I just have to keep jumping back and forth between the items and the skills. I've done so many cool things. So this flask has 3 things in one. 4. It's like it's the super flask, Forbidden Taste. It might be cheap. We don't know yet. We'll find out. I've never tried to rush this. We'll see how hard it is to get this early on trade, with telling everyone too. Ooh. So this has phasing. So I'm using it for phasing and the instant heal to full and 10% chance to dodge attack and spell hits. Dodge is not evade, so this will work with Unwavering Stance. And it lasts for pretty long, and it's 2 clicks, so this is, in our build, 10,000 healing. A normal instant life flask is like 800, 1,000. It's like nothing. This is 5,000 twice. Jesus. And you only take 100 per second for 4. So you'll take 400 damage if you have Chaos Res Cap. Without Chaos Res Cap at 0, how much would I take? A shit ton, right? Probably a lot. I don't know. I don't know math. I don't want to do it. But next we have Basalt, and I showed that you can go a Basalt with Bleed Immune and Reduced Charges, and when you do Reduced Charges 25, it only consumes 30 instead of 40, so you can, because 25% off 40, you could buy 10. So this actually makes it so you can click this flask twice instead of once. It's amazing. Huge quality of life. If you guys didn't know about that reduced charge thing, hey, hit the like button. On this one, we got the Granite Flask plus 3,000 armor. This is without flask enabled. We had 14,700, by the way, with just this wall of brambles. With the increased armor. Oh my god. Okay, so then, yeah, this Granite, I show that you can gain 1 charge when you're hit by an enemy, and it only had 30 of 60, so it, like, you know how I had to reduce this one of using 40 to 30? Well, this one is just 30, so 100% increased armor during the flask, and gain 1 charge. The 100%'s high roll, it's 60 to 100, so more expect 60, probably 80, and 100 is the best. And then on the Silver Flask, I show the exact same mechanic of this normally consumes 40 of 60 charges, but we changed it to 30 with the 25% reduced charges mechanic. And then I like Curses immunity on Silver Flask because it lasts for 6 seconds, and I hate Curses. On the Quicksilver, because it's our movement speed flask, I go for move speed, and I can do the same secret tech and do reduced charges. So instead of 20 of 50, where you can only click it twice and it's used 40 and there's 10 left and you can't use 20 of 10 because there's only 10 and you need 20, this is 15 of 50, which if you 15, 30, 45, you can hit it 3 times and there's still 5 left. Oh my god, this shit is insane. You could actually do one less where it's 16 of 50 and that still works. It's still enough, so you don't really need the perfect roll and the reduced charges, but obviously less charges is just better. Less charges. Pog. So I've gone over everything. I guess because people will ask, because it's been a long time, and I have another video out about it. So we have these jewels. They're primordial jewels and the Anima Stone. For people who don't know, you can sell a Primordial Eminence, Primordial Harmony, and a Primordial Might to the vendor for the Anima Stone. You don't need to buy an Anima Stone from trade. You can do it to the vendor. You can get a Primordial Might, a Primordial Harmony, and a Primordial Eminence. Shittiest rolls possible, non-corrupted and non-replica, and you can sell them to the vendor to get an Anima Stone. And then, obviously, you can buy the rest for yourself. And then, Primordial Might is so you can make your golems aggressive to not have to use Feeding Frenzy in the Carrion Golem link. It's a 7 link. The Harmonies, I like to prioritize golem damage. So do you see how it says the third roll, 20% increased golem damage for each type of golem you've summoned? That 20. You can get 16, it's fine, but 20. The other ones, I honestly don't care. But in reality, the second one, Summon Golems, have 30% increased cooldown recovery rate. That one, Summon Golems, you can get it higher. 40 is good. And obviously 2045 is perfect. So that's just the ins and outs. I prioritize 20 golem damage because the ins and outs of how that works is it's per golem type, and in our build we are running a Carrion Golem, a Chaos Golem, and a Stone Golem, so we have 3. And so this Harmony, instead of saying 20 per type, just say 60 golem damage, and it's like, wait, how many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 300 golem damage. That's pretty good. Along with 2%, 10% golem regen and 150% cooldown recovery rate. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. I like that. Then we have these Eminence, and I prioritize the attack speed to get 20% instead of 16 if you can. But yeah, the reality is, why did I go this number? It's because, let's switch it. We could switch one. So this is the reality. When you put your build all together, every time you change anything, you need to just have, you have to go to my path of building tutorial, I guess, or look at how I've enabled all this for this right here. I've given you the POB in the description. This doesn't do anything, by the way, because we don't have MIM. Intimidate from the Awaken Melee Fizz. I always assume Cyrus because it's the best indicator. Power charges from the host chieftains. Frenzy charges from the Carnage chieftains. Feeding Frenzy from our Chaos Golem and Stone Golem. 10 non-golem nearby minions, which is the zombies, specters, and the Animate Guardian. There is an Animate Guardian in the build that I haven't even got to yet. Are your minions always on full life? Yep, because they're gods. Okay, so that was just showing you everything. And then I feel like it would be a good thing to show you guys all the skills now. Okay, so I showed you the helmet. Now the glove, I put Chaos Golem 21-0, so that when you get a +1 from the amulet with the +1 intelligence skill gems, you get 5% physical damage reduction instead of 4. At 21, you only get 4. I can show you by leveling it down. So if you only had a 20, it gets +1. It has 4. Oh no! So you can see your physical damage reduction: 76 +1, 82. It's a lot. It's not a joke in the golem build. You want golems high level. So then we got the stone golem, and the stone golem 21, and he gets 7 levels because the 2 cooldown points and the 1 from the Ami, and he's 151 life regen, and he gets super scaled. So look what you get without him. Life regen 300, 1156. Stone golem, feeding frenzy for the buff, and we have Animate Guardian. So the Animate Guardian, I went for the 21-0 here, and the Animate Guardian is on my Twitch. In my Twitch chat, you type !AG. It's the same Animate Guardian that I recommended last league. It uses Kingmaker, the Kingmaker weapon for Fortify. It uses the Garb of the Ephemeral, but if you have, see, because this is what happens in the early league, okay? The Garb of the Ephemeral is a body armor that makes it so nearby enemies cannot crit. Also makes it so you, nearby allies, cannot have action speed slowed, so no temp chance. So the funny thing is that it turns out that the Brass Dome is usually harder to get than the Garb of the Ephemeral, especially people didn't know about the Garb of the Ephemeral before for some weird reason, or they're never ready to use the Animate Guardian very early on in the league, and maybe not at all in Mayhem, because it's going to be so scary. So, Garb of the Ephemeral, Animate Guardian, otherwise you can use Gruthkul's Pelt, or you could just use any body armor with life and reses and whatever, and chaos res, and because if you're this early on in the league and you're not getting minion chaos res from the Dread Marches, you may want some armor and chaos res for the Animate Guardian to keep him alive more than the other minions in your build. You could also go for the chestplate mod. Nearby enemies are blinded if you want it on the chestplate. You can go Gruthkul's Pelt for big life. Tons of options. But my main point about this Animate Guardian is this is like my regular golem build. So this is missing chaos res, and it's missing reses because it doesn't have the elemental army that the specters and raised zombie has, and it doesn't have the indomitable army, so it's missing 25. So you need to get at least 25 elemental res on the Animate Guardian. So that's 25 fire, 25 cold, 25 lightning res on the Animate Guardian, and then so you can go for a chaos glove. I also recommend in this the glove. You can go for a corrupted glove with vulnerability to get a curse in the build, so you can add a curse very easily. I recommend it, highly recommend. You should add a curse through the glove. Corruption, you can corrupt shitty chaos gloves for it if you want early on. Should work, I think, because a lot of people are going to be playing the event, hopefully. And then the other, the helmet, you can go nearby enemies are take 9% increased physical damage from this really high level, it's like item level 86 Elder Helmet. So that can be rarely expensive. So instead of that, you can just go for a Chaos Res, Elemental Res, Life Helmet, Armor, because you need it for the Animate Guardian. And for the boots, if you've capped all of the reses and the Chaos Res, then technically you can go a Victorious Flight for extra move speed for you and your allies. But if you still need more tankiness, then just go for a regular boot and don't worry about it. Buy some regular rare boot with move speed reses and Chaos Res and life and armor. Get some armor on that shit. Easy, dude. Animate Guardian ain't gonna die because it's gonna be tankier than everything else you have. The other shit you have is gonna be dying, and you're just gonna be laughing at how physical and chaos damage is such a piece of shit. You're gonna laugh at how strong their elemental is, and yeah. So then we run the regular Pride, Generosity, Dread Banner, Skitter bots, and this time I'm not running Profane Proxy, and I'm not doing the thing where I'm removing the chill to go for a curse, because I did the math and the curse damage didn't seem to be as insane as I really needed it to be, I guess. And the only way it would be really good is if you could get the curse with the alternate quality to go for that weird vulnerability with Mayhem, because vulnerability AoE Mayhem off of a Skitter bot is insane. AoE Mayhem vulnerability Skitter bot. That sounds so fun. Then we went for the cast when damage taken setup. So this time it's a little bit different. It's a cast when damage taken into a molten shell, and it's what we've learned last season in going into the heist, going into the SSF event, was big armor, and then molten shell, big buff, pog, and that's this is without flask. So if you click that granite, 32,000. If you click the basalt, our physical damage reduction, well, yeah, we got nothing to worry about. Hit me, Minotaur. Let's go. Let's go. We're immune. That's a nice feeling to have, you know? Knowing that you'll be immune to physical when you press some stuff, and then you already have chaos cap, so you're going to be immune to chaos because we're not playing the triple projectile event, and then we only have to worry about elemental, so you could just put on us Affles. Holy shit, with this kind of regen, this build's awesome. Thanks, man. Hope so. Hope everyone likes it. I hope it isn't too bad for the beginning, but casting damage taken, Molten Shell Frost Wall, went for rings, and I actually left open the weapon slot as an entire 3 gems extra of things we haven't decided upon. So these ideas can be an extra curse, because you should run a curse probably. So this is to show you what I was talking about. I left it open. So let me just wait, did that just show me a mark is better? Can you go both? Can I go a mark and a curse? Okay, let's say you got quality too. So this is vulnerability. See, 241, 269. You see how it's not really. You would expect. I don't know. I just expect so much more because it cost so much before, dude. We did so much for it, but then yeah, look at this. Yo, that's pretty good. What the hell? And that'll help us keep the power charges up. That's pretty cool. What else can we go? Heh. What's that? I have to. It's for the curse. True. That's how you make it powerful. I actually never do that. Ever. Wow. Wait, I could cast some damage taking them on low levels. No, probably not. The reality is I wanted to scroll down and see what other things it recommended. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that makes sense. There, thanks POB for finishing my build for me, dude. We pumped out some extra free deeps. There you go, guys. Some active players. Rejoice in the chat, in the comments. They've made it. Gotta put this in the extra weapon slot. This one was weapon 2. There we go. Weapon 1. When they see this, dude, they're like, oh my god, he put real stuff. Convocation, Assassin's Mark, Vulnerable, Flesh Off. Oh my god, we're playing the game. Let's fucking go. Some people are gonna drop the Frost Wall and put in some Desecrate too, because they're gonna want to Desecrate for their Flesh Offering, and they're gonna be like, I love this build. Holy shit, it's so strong. And then they're gonna be able to take out the cooldown point for sure, because look at all this free damage they had, and they're gonna go down to the 2.4 that I started at, and it was all planned. And you have a Saffles, and this is the Zabakwa, and it's literally the build I had before the Zabakwa nerf. Oh, easy clap, dude. But it's even better because I got, look, we can 14,000 armor without the brass dome. Holy shit, I love this shit. Okay, either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope this is everything you guys hoped for. I have more stuff to come. This is just the Mayhem event. We still have to look forward to the Endless Delve and the 3-week heist flashback, which will be similar to this, more likely because trade, but the Endless Delve is unique because of SSF, no trading, so it's going to be weird. Especially, I have some secret stuff to release about Delve, and I want to do it soon before they ruin it, because if they already do it, then it's ruining what I've coming up with. So anyways, I'll see you guys in that 40-minute video. Holy shit, thank you guys for watching. Whoever made it here, hi, what's up? Comment potato. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon and my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all the support. And thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon or the YouTube members today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!